And what's going on, guys? Mini Call here, coming at you with another video today. This one is going to be in regards to Kestrel, and I've kind of gotten her rather to a little bit more of a viable spot. I've gotten her up to level 65, gear tier 12, and I have T4'd her passive so far. Basically, once I get some more T4s, I'll start working on her ultimate, her special, and then her basic. Like I said in my last video, Kestrel is definitely one of those unique characters where, all of her T4s, have merit to them. So I got to thinking, we have kind of explored a good team for Kestrel as far as in Blitz, and I think it'll probably be a fairly decent team in War as well. And if we scroll on down here, let's see, there we are, which actually I need to move them up a little bit based off of their power. But so kind of what we've got going on is we've got kind of a Shield, Coulson, Kestrel hybrid. And the reason I like this team the most is just because between Shield Trooper, Shield Assault, and Coulson, you have some really good damage going out. So there are a lot of vulnerables being applied. Kestrel is getting some double taps. Nick Fury is summoning, and with Kestrel's passive, his summons basically have death proof for 2 turns, which basically makes them viable for about 3 attacks. Where normally kind of in the past, I would say they're probably only viable for 1 attack. So in looking at that, I was kind of just thinking and, theory crafting, I guess, a little bit on, are there any teams that Kestrel would work with for U7 that would be word worthy? And I got to thinking about a couple things. Mainly the big component of her kit is when anyone is attacked with a defense down, she is then going to attack the weakest enemy for, I think it's 400% damage. So there are 2 teams that kind of come to mind that really have a defense down mechanic, and the first one being the Symbiotes, and the second one being the X Factor team, mainly in particular Shatterstar. So I'm going to try them out with both teams. In the symbiote case, I am going to, I believe, let's go ahead and take out Venom. Even though Venom does have that mechanic where he can kind of spread debuffs, he doesn't get to use it as frequently. So I think he's definitely the most replaceable on the symbiotes. The reason, Scream, I guess, would be another possible candidate, but the thing I like about Scream is that when enemies die, she is also applying speed up for her team, and, that's definitely kind of a pretty good mechanic. So the idea here is Kestrel has a lot of defense downs on her kit in general, and then when you factor in what Symbiote Spider-Man does with his basic, he is going to apply those defense downs, and then if you use his special, he extends debuffs for an extra turn. So kind of what I'm thinking is we can get a bunch of defense downs on the field, and then while the symbiotes are basically attacking things and getting speed up, Kestrel should be in the background, basically double tapping anyone that has defense down. So we'll try this out. We'll see what happens. I haven't tried this off camera, so I am basically trying this, live on the video. So we've got a defense down on Star-Lord over here, but he's almost dead. So let's go ahead and get some defense downs elsewhere on the team. And so we've got that double tap going. Let's see, we will attack here. Kestrel pops off. Now, so she only does the attack once, even if you're attacking 2 targets that have defense down. But so what we'll do here is we will attack Green Goblin. And then I think what should happen, there we go again. Kestrel got another bonus attack. They're going right now. So the only thing, and Kestrel did just die, so the only thing that we run into problem-wise is definitely, Kestrel obviously dying. And I think that'll become less of an issue as she does get a little bit stronger. And I am already kind of doing this in the third boss quadrant, which is definitely where U7 starts to get a little higher. So just from that brief little test, I mean, yeah, we had maybe some bad RNG where Kestrel got kind of wiped out. But I can definitely kind of see the potential. So we will finish this fight, and we will revive Kestrel, and then we will see if she does any better with the X Factor team. And the only kind of thing, I guess, the only downside to using symbiotes is, for the most part, Kestrel probably won't be attacking all that much, just because the way the symbiotes get their speed up. So the big problem with Kestrel's kit, as far as her sustainability, is she only gets healed on her actual turn. So, if the symbiotes are just kind of constantly going, she's not going to be getting the heals from her own kit. But again, it's something that could be interesting and definitely worth exploring kind of down the road. This test obviously did not last as long as I would have liked it. I can definitely see there being some viability in the Doom raids in particular, especially when she's kind of running with an actual healer. She is both skill and tech. So in both those categories, you do have some really good healers. You do have. For the skill section, you have Night Nurse, who is, one of the best healers in the game. And then for the tech section, you also have Minerva as well as Shuri, who are both very good healers in their own rights. So despite losing Kestrel pretty early on to that fight, my 4 symbiotes were still able to handle this node. So they did a good job on that end. Let us go in and try it with X Factor, see if we have any different results. It's still not a boss node, so that's, definitely on the plus side. And like I said, that might have just been some bad RNG. I don't think I want Kestrel in the very middle, so we are going to move this team around a little bit. We are going to move Multiple Man to the middle section. Just because, like I said, for whatever reason, the front section seems to get targeted a lot more frequently. And let's go on, move over to Cosmic, and we will put Kestrel on the end over here. Now, so the thinking behind this team is that with Shatterstar, it is his ultimate that is going to apply defense down to the entire field, if I'm not mistaken. So I think in that sense, again, we'll run into a very similar dynamic where every turn, I think Kestrel should be doing her passive attack. But we'll see if this one goes a little bit better. We will keep our fingers crossed for some better RNG. And we'll kind of see what happens. So we're going to start in. We will start with our special and get some defense downs on the field. So let's see. So it's actually Shatterstar's special that is going to apply defense down. So let's go ahead. This should also trigger a bonus attack from Kestrel, which it did. Now, the interesting thing here is it would be really cool if her passive triggered every time someone with defense down got hit. I don't think that's how this works. We'll test it out right now with Longshot's special, but I think she should only attack once. All right, so as I thought, she only attacked once, but as we're already seeing here, with all of these defense downs on the field, Kestrel is getting a bonus attack every time. So even with the dupes, even with them attacking a defense down target, we are getting another attack from her, which is pretty cool. It definitely, especially as she's getting stronger, it definitely makes her a much more powerful character. The only thing, like I said, that could potentially become an issue is the speed of the character, especially when you're looking at these two different teams where basically, their whole mechanic is they basically speed themselves up, but they don't necessarily speed up other allies. So you'll see here, everyone is pretty much attacked, I think at least twice now. Multiple Man just took his third turn, as did Polaris. where the only problem now is Kestrel hasn't gone in quite a few turns. So it is Kestrel's turn now, so we will get some more defense downs on the field. Now, as we attack our Iron Fist over here, Kestrel should attack Spider-Man. Or actually, I didn't realize that Shatterstar was going to do so much damage to Iron Fist over there. But this team is definitely working a bit better than the symbiotes, and I think part of the reasoning behind that is the mechanics of this team. They're kind of keeping everything off of Kestrel. So there's just so many dupes on the field that Kestrel isn't being attacked. So we'll go there. They're doing a really good bit of damage. The only thing I would say is this team definitely probably requires, human play, versus just letting the AI do its thing. The mentality behind that is because you are kind of picking and choosing who you're attacking, especially with those defense downs. I don't think necessarily the AI will probably play the smartest. But yeah, so this went really well. The team did really good on that note, actually. I was kind of impressed. Let's go in while we are kind of still on a high point, and I'm going to go in. I'm going to buy just one more refresh. And I guess we're going big. We'll do one refresh. Let's see how they do on a boss node. This node here in particular is probably one of the hardest 7.4 nodes outside of Ultron. And the reasoning behind that is just because of the characters that drop in this node, mainly Magneto. You basically get a blind and no one can go for a couple turns. So this is definitely one of the harder 7.4 nodes and just one of the harder Ultimus nodes in general. So if this team does really well on this node, that gives me a lot of faith for them in other nodes, and especially as Kestrel gets a bit stronger. And kind of the same thing with Polaris. Polaris is actually I think she's only 2 stars still. So she is not a very strong character either at this time. So we did get a bunch of defense downs. Juggernaut did resist his defense down, but that's okay. We were able to take out the Doctor Strange, so we won't have to worry about debuffs. The Magneto should be dropping in a little bit, so we are going to... There he is. We are going to try to get rid of him. Hopefully sooner rather than later, and hopefully avoid him doing those blinds. We will do Longshot's ultimate. We've got a nice crit going there. We will get some dupes on the field, and let's see if we can kind of nuke him down. Let's see. Let's kind of keep targeting Magneto. We do have a defense down, which is now gone. We lost a dupe, so I don't think we're going to be able to avoid Magneto's ultimate going off. But let's see. We still have, I think, a little bit of time. If we can get this taunt off Juggernaut, we might be able to kind of get it going. The taunt is still there. Juggernaut is a very high resist character, so when he is taunting, it is almost next to impossible to get that taunt off. Let's see, we'll get an ultimate going with Kestrel. That did crit, which is pretty good. Magneto's ult is going to go off. We lost Kestrel. Or actually, no, Kestrel is still there back there, but we did lose Longshot and a good chunk of the dupes. Let's see if we can kind of recover from this. But, excuse me. All right, so let's try and recover from this little thing. We are still blinded. Let's see. So everyone is blind currently, or actually the only 2 that are blind still is Polaris and Kestrel. So let's see if kind of this... we are now down to a 3-man team, and we are quickly wiping. So there we go. That's a wipe. So kind of like I was saying, this is definitely one of the harder nodes, but they did pretty well. For them being as low as they are, this definitely is kind of a cool team. I can see some raid viability. I could even see some war viability, especially for Kale. I have actually moved Silver Surfer onto War Defense, so Kestrel can actually kind of fill in that role really well. The team already, X Factor in particular, already steamrolls the Marauders. Kestrel adds in a whole other element to that where she prevents Sinister from cloning, but they did a pretty good job. Like I said, coming into a blind is really hard to kind of counter, especially when you don't have a team that cleanses. My symbiotes occasionally will have a hard time with that node, and so that's just kind of the nature of that one particular node. But just kind of looking at it again, just to kind of show the X factor. So when we were looking at that, Polaris is only 2 stars, definitely on the weaker side. Multiple Man, Shatterstar, and Longshot definitely higher stars, but I mean my Longshot's only 4 stars, Shatterstar's only 5, so they're not the strongest team in the world, but the team did pretty good. If you're looking maybe for just some alternative, maybe backup raid teams, definitely something to kind of consider. I think as Kestrel kind of gets stronger with bigger stars on her, as well as finishing off her T4s, definitely I think she'll become even more viable. But so it's just playing around. This was a little theory crafting for the day. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching. Hope everyone's having a good week, and hope you take it easy.